Alright, the question given to you is 3 to the power of 2x plus 1 minus 4 bracket 3 to the power of x, and then we have plus 1, and this is equal to 0. This question you see here is a quadratic indices problem, and you notice this from the three variables equated to 0. First thing you need to do is to simplify this expression here, 3 to the power of 2x plus 1. We can simplify it as 3 to the power of 2x, all brackets 3 to the power of 1. And you understand that from the principle of indices, which says that if you have 3 to the power of a plus b is the same thing as 3 to the power of a times 3 to the power of b. It can also be 3 to the power of a, all bracket 3 to the power of b. And that's exactly what we did here. We can also simplify this, and this will give us 3 to the power of x all square. And we can also explain that, okay, we need to put this here, 3 to the power of 1. We can explain that if we have 3 to the power of ab is the same thing as 3 to the power of a, all bracket b. And it can also be 3 to the power of b, all bracket a, if you like. So that's exactly what we did here. Why we did this is because we want to form a quadratic expression. Now, you notice that there is 3 to the power of x here. So if we do that, we can easily form a quadratic expression. You'll see that very quickly. So if we just put down the equation again, we have minus 4 bracket 3 to the power of x plus 1 equal to 0. Now, how do we form the quadratic expression? We'll just say let p be equal to 3 to the power of x. So we're going to put p in place of 3 to the power of x. So here will be p squared because of the square here. And here will be p, so we'll have minus 4p. So we'll have 3 to the power of 1 is 3 times p squared, which is 3p squared, minus 4p plus 1 equal to 0. And that is a quadratic equation we can work with. So if we put it here, we'll have 3p squared minus 4p. Then we have plus 1 equal to 0. If you remember how to solve quadratic expressions, you will know what to do here. We just need to look for a factor that when we add together, we'll get minus 4p, and then when we multiply, then we will get the value from the product of 3p squared and 1. 3p squared times 1 is 3p squared. So if you look for a value that will give you 3p squared when you multiply two values, it will be actually be minus 3p and minus p, because when you add two of them, you actually get this middle one. So we can just put those two factors in place of minus 4p. So we'll have minus 3p and minus p plus 1 equal to 0. Now, if you do not understand how to solve quadratic expressions, I will just make a video on that, but you have to indicate, please, in the comment section. Alright, so this is one phase of the quadratic expression. We just need to put our brackets now, and then we isolate. So we're going to bring out a factor from this first bracket. A factor that is common to 3p squared and 3p is 3p. And then when we divide through, we have p here minus 1 here. That's what's left in the bracket. Then we isolate minus 1 here. Of minus 1, and then what we're left here is just p and minus 1. So you remember that these two brackets have to be the same thing. And this is equal to 0. If we bring out the factors here, we have 3p minus 1 and p minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so we need to find p. So we equate in 3p minus 1 equal to 0. We'll have 3p equal to 1, and p will be equal to 1 over 3, because you divide both sides by 3 there. Then this is 1. Then for equating p minus 1 equal to 0, we have p is equal to 1. So we can say that p is 1 over 3 or 1. But this is not all. Remember, we're looking for x. And we said that let p be 3 to the power of x. So what do we do here? All we need to do right now is for us to say, since p is 1 or 1 over 3, then we already know that where p is 1, and the equation p equal to 3 to the power of x, where p is 1, we have 1 equals to 3 to the power of x. And we know that 1 in the same base as 3 is the same thing as 3 to the power of 0. So 3 to the power of 0 is the same thing as 1, and we can just equate to 3 to the power of x. And through the law of indices, you know you cancel out base here. So that means x here is 0. You can still do the same thing where p is 1 over 3. P is 1 over 3. You can say, using the same equation, p equals to 3 to the power of x, which we got before, and we'll have 1 over 3 is equal to 3 to the power of x. And then you know that in indices, 1 over 3 is the same thing as 3 to the power of minus 1, and we still have 3 to the power of x here. We cancel out bases, and then we have x is equal to minus 1. So from our solution, we say that x is equal to 0 or minus 1. And that you see here is your answer. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. If you like the video, please subscribe. Thank you very much.